So what do you do when a client says that they feel robbed because they never felt under hypnosis? Do you charge them for the hour or the session? This is a great question, and I'm going to first answer this by it's really up to you. And there are so many factors as to why this happened. And I actually want to talk about that first because that's more important than actually what to do. So this really comes first with your overall messaging and how that call went before your client booked in a session with you. So, and this is completely under the responsibility of the hypnotherapist, not the client. And so when a client is expecting to be hypnotized and their expectations is for hypnosis to look and feel a certain way and they did not get it, and in their mind they paid you for the hypnosis, then it would make sense why they would be upset, right? This is why I tell my conversational hypnosis students to never, ever, ever sell hypnosis. And this is the reason why people have certain expectations as to what hypnosis is. I've actually had a very nightmare-ish client before that had a certain expectation as to what it would feel like, even though she had a breakthrough. In her mind, in her story, as to what it would feel like was so different from what she needed to experience, and that's the reason why I stopped selling hypnosis. So this is more of a reflection for you to think about how you're messaging it in your social media or your website. If you sell hypnosis and a client has a certain aspect or vision of it, then if they don't get what they want, they're going to want to complain and feel robbed. So that is the first thing. Like, how are you selling it? Is the actual root of the problem here. Because you want to think of how you're positioning your offer for your clients. And so in the conversational hypnosis world, I never tell my students to sell hypnosis. I tell them to be results based. This is the main difference. And what I would tell my clients is that make sure that in your call with you, like they're not booking in straight from your website. That is a big red flag too. If a client is coming to the discovery call with you and they're expecting to be hypnotized, that is going to be a different experience versus a client who wants results. Very, very different. Because a client who wants to be hypnotized has expectations that are different from someone who wants to get rid of their problem ASAP. So depending on how you're doing your hypnosis is really the biggest answer here. But I want to get into the topic of, do you not charge them for an hour? That decision is up to you. And you want to have a conversation with your clients regarding this. And maybe your client had the result they were coming in for. Maybe they came in with smoking and they feel better about the smoking, but because they didn't get hypnotized, they feel robbed. That doesn't make sense, right? So what you want to ask your client is that, did you want to be hypnotized or did you want to stop smoking or whatever presenting problem there is, right? This is a question that is going to be uncomfortable, but this is the type of thing that you want to screen with your clients, right? Do you want clients that just want to experience a show? Or do you want clients who are no bullshit, get to the point, let's solve a problem? This is on the therapist to actually be clear on. So be very, very clear on that to prevent this from happening. And so if for some reason a client did say that, that never happens now because the positioning of my offers are results driven. It's very much like these are the results that we want. However you do it is going to be completely up to you. So they don't like that. This is not a problem anymore, right? Like they never ask or feel robbed because they got the result that they wanted. So position that for yourself and then challenge your clients. If they feel robbed, if they want a refund, ask them, did you expect to solve your problem or did you expect to be hypnotized? That's the expectation. If they expected to be hypnotized and not solve the problem, and they didn't feel hypnotized, well, you come to deal with that, right? That's a positioning problem. Lesson learned, you will learn from it. We've had these mistakes. Like I said, I had a nightmare client who was like that. And so um, again, this is up to you and your overall mechanics. If the client really didn't get what they want, and you can feel that this is a client who is going to be a pain in the ass if you don't charge them, that's something to consider, right? And also, if you talk to them and you say, did you want the results, or did you want to be hypnotized? And they say, actually, I wanted the results. Did you get the results? And they say, yes. Okay, so what's the problem? Right? If you got your results and didn't get hypnotized, what's the actual problem? We set ourselves up because, or we booked our session because you wanted a problem resolved. And if you're happy with that, what else were you expecting? Having that conversation, it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation either way. It's going to be a learning curve for you, which is normal to feel everywhere. And so it just depends on that situation with the client. Do they actually ask for a refund, or is it just your fears being projected into them, right? Tons of things to explore there. There's no one be all end all answer for this, but these are the expectations that you want. And so I hope this helped, and good luck.